thank you for joining. For any of the new guys that are on, we've just put this together to set up a forum for everybody, for like-minded business owners to come on here, share experiences, share skills. There's a lot of knowledge and skills on this call. Looking at, again, at the attendee list, there's a lot of people that have been in business for a very long time. So, we're going to throw it open after a few minutes and just start answering some questions. And if you've got any questions to ask, please put them in the box. And if you've got any valuable input or any ideas, please raise your hand and come forward and help with answering the questions and sharing the knowledge amongst everybody in the room. So just before we start, I just want to put a poll in here. If you could all have a look. So I just want to ask no, that's not correct. That's not the right one. We asked that yesterday. So when do you feel things will return to normal? So I'd just like to get an idea of where, there's a lot of business owners I've been speaking to in the past. I've been speaking to recently, and a lot of people have very different views on this. So I'll be interested to see what you guys believe and what your thoughts are. So I've just launched the poll now. So when do you think things will return to normal? It's either within 3 weeks from now, 3 to 6 weeks from now, or 7 weeks and longer. Okay, last couple to come in. Okay, so it's quite interesting. So 88% of people think on this call think it's 7 weeks or longer. 3 to 6 weeks from now for 13%. So, that's quite interesting. I think the majority, certainly when I'm working with my clients, we're looking at 7 weeks or longer. If it comes up quicker than that, then awesome. But, again, it's, I guess it's a bit of a vague question. What is normal? So, will we be coming out of this? We all know we're not all of a sudden going to get the green light and going to come out of this and everything's fine and it all returns to normality. It's going to be a gradual process. So, okay, thank you very much for sharing that. So I just want to move on to, we've spoken about mindset, we've spoken about an overview really of what things we can put in place to help ourselves and our business right now. I just want to talk you through this screen. So if you could just raise your hands and let me know that you can see the screen with basically the opportunity path. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so I just want to spend a few minutes walking through this, and it's a really, it's just I said yesterday, I really like to have visuals, and it just maybe hopefully gives some clarity and just can help you see that there is light at the end of the tunnel on this. So, if we look, we go from phase 1 through to phase 5. There's a personal area at the top, and at the bottom is things that we can focus on and develop within our businesses. So the big yellow star is saying that we're here somewhere in phase 1, starting to look at phase 2 really here. So we don't know how long these phases are going on for, which is why there's no time frame, but it's all relative to the question that I just asked you about when you think we're going to be returning to normality. So if we look at phase 1, obviously we've talked about this. The first thing we've got to do is all looking after ourselves, our family, the personal care, making sure that everybody is healthy, fit and healthy, and that we're affected as little as possible within that way. Then we need to look at our personal finances. So everybody's got their own challenges around that. So, how quickly do we need to have money coming in? Can we survive for, X amount of months or whatever that is? So it's really looking at our own personal finances. We know there's a lot of help out there at the moment from the government, the banks, and people like that. So it's really just being open to those opportunities. We spoke yesterday about mindset. It's really, really important that we focus on that. And mindset is all the way through every single phase of this and beyond. And just keeping energy. I spoke yesterday about removing things that are sapping your energy, removing things that are just causing you a distraction. So then if we go down to the bottom of phase 1, looking at the business, it's about looking after your staff, those that are on furlough, those that aren't furlough, making sure they're healthy. We've spoken briefly on that already. looking at your business finances. Again, making sure that your cash flow forecasts, your P&L, your balance sheets, all of those things are in order. If they're not, let me know. I'm happy to share some tools with you that can help with that. But cash flow forecast is massively important at any time, especially in times of crisis. So mothball, we talked about hibernating and mothballing. Some businesses literally don't really, it's a last resort. I don't even want to go there really, because we should at least be doing some activity. And government assistance, we talked about that, grants, loans, all the things that are coming out. I know Tunbridge and Morling and Sevenoaks Council have already been paying their grants out this week. So if you're in those boroughs, then you should have received money. If not, you will do this week. I'm not sure about some of the other areas, but I know they're all acting on it this week and next. So we're going into phase 2, really. In my view, I think we're really, one leg in either the lockdown and the transition phase right now. Okay, so that's just my view. It's up to you where you think we are, but this is where we should be looking at our skills. We talked a lot about this yesterday on the identity iceberg, about what skills you have now, how you can put them into the market, how you can develop new skills. So whether it's online courses, coaching, and that's not me pushing business coaching, that's fitness coaching, that's in your personal development coaching. There's business coaching as well, but there's all types of coaching. So what can you do to become a better version of yourself in this time? And self-management. So, it's about mindset, but it's also about time and the things that you're doing within that time, the people you're spending that time with. Are you getting time to go out and spend time in the garden with the family or your partner or things like that? So going down onto the business side, this is a great time. I'm looking at the list on here. There's some people that I know have a great vision and mission in their businesses already, but this is a fantastic time if you don't have one, to put one in place and spend some time on that, because it isn't a 5-minute job. It's a job that evolves over time and a process, or to review your existing one. Is it still the same as when you first set up your business? Do you need to look back and question why you set up your business in the first place, and are you still running true to those values and that vision? Your products and services, we talked about that. Review everything, question everything. Looking at your marketing strategies. Have you got enough in place? Have you only got, to say you've got a social media strategy, but there's no fixed strategies around that. You haven't got individual strategies for LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Just to say you work social media, that's not a strategy. You need strategies for every single one of those and multiple strategies for it. Your collateral preparation, your drip feeding marketing. So, this is again looking at the marketing here and saying, we talked about it yesterday about showing empathy and being careful what we're marketing at the moment and not having keyboard warriors. It came up, it was a really good point yesterday. We have to be careful what we're marketing. We have to be a lot more sensitive to how we're doing this at the moment, because this isn't just a downturn. This is a pandemic that's affecting people's lives. So we have to be careful, but we should still be marketing going forward. And then really, once lockdown has ended, now we're coming up to our period where the government said they were going to review this. Now, I'm pretty sure nobody's under the impression that the lockdown is going to be lifted. But at some point this date is going to be announced. So when that date is announced, we then move into the phase 3, which is warming up, right? So we're going to start to look at default diaries. Now, I would be looking at default diaries really now. And I've actually got a question coming overnight actually about this, so we'll touch on that later. But working with your diaries, making sure they're as structured as possible. Again, your mindset is so key here. It is all the way through this, but not just through crisis as well. It's through everything we do in our lives. So, and preparing mentally for a sprint phase. So what I mean by that is, the sprint phase that's coming is going to take a lot out of us. We've already had a lot taken out of us, but if we're going to really make the most and capitalize on all of those opportunities that are going to be out there the moment we have this lockdown ended and lifted, then we need to be in a really good place to be able to make the most of that opportunity. Personal care, again, it's up there. We've got to keep looking after ourselves. You know, phase 3 would have been in this lockdown for quite some time now. So I know my wife's starting to go a little bit stir crazy looking after 3 kids, but luckily, you know, hopefully she's made of strong stuff, because I can't help her too much on that. So, you know, looking at the business side of it, staff return, you know, they're going to start coming back, whether it's in stages, coming back from furlough. You might be looking at taking new staff on and ramping up your marketing and really getting ready for this spring phase. How you differentiate yourself from everybody else at this stage is going to be absolutely key. There are going to be businesses out there that have gone bust. There are going to be clients out there that used to have businesses, clients out there that used to use your competitors. Now they are up for grabs. Okay, so it sounds pretty harsh, but it's true. There's going to be clients out there for sale. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. You might even be able to buy your competitors at a very cheap price. So anyone who survives this, you know, the future looks rosy, and I think that's what we've all got to keep an eye on. You know, this whole diagram is to show you that there is light at the end of this tunnel, and it's not all doom and gloom, very far from it. And again, so this is it, looking for opportunities. There's going to be so many clients out there that are looking to work with you if you're positioning yourself correctly right now. So just to carry on, so we're going to a sprint phase. This is just going to take, as I said, so much energy. You need to have absolute clarity about where you're going with this. You know, you don't want to come out of this phase into this phase and then start thinking, okay, what are we going to work on? Which clients do we want to work with? How are we going to market to those guys? You know, you should be already doing this. You should have a short list of clients and industries that you really want to be working with. How you're going to keep your existing clients, all of those things. But, you know, you just got to be really focused personally as well, and have absolute commitment and take ownership of everything that you're doing and pushing your business forward with. So, you know, dropping down, you know, your staff. I've already talked to some of my clients about this. You know, when your staff come back from furlough, you know, one of my clients that runs a sales company, and they were hitting a purple patch. You know, they were absolutely flying, nailing every single target that they set, and all of a sudden they've stopped. So we're putting in a plan of how we're going to start to ramp them up coming up to, so they're not walking into the office and pretty much blowing the cobwebs away, right? We want these guys to almost be picking up where they left off. So they're not going to do that unless we put a plan in place for them to be able to do that. So you know, focusing on existing clients, I've spoken about that. You know, what new marketing can you bring in, and test and measure. Now, we should be testing and measuring everything we do anyway, but, you know, even more so now, we should be making sure we know our figures and how well our marketing strategies are performing, how well our sales figures and our conversion rates and all of those are performing as well. Is this making sense to everyone? If you could just lift your hand, if this is okay. Cool. Thanks, guys. So just going into the last phase, and then we're going to finish up and open up for some questions. So, you know, this is about producing consistency. Anyone who knows and has heard me speak or worked with me before knows that, you know, consistency is key within business, right? Not this up and down roller coasters that we see so many business owners going through and their businesses going through, and financials and everything. So, you know, our life, we've got to try and get some consistency to our life. Now, we've probably gone through the hardest part of our careers. You know, even if we were around, you know, I had businesses in 2008 with the crash, and some of those, you know, I even set one up during that time, and it's still with me now. So, you know, I learned a lot from that, but this is very, very new to us mentally, physically, you know, the challenges that we're going through now, and they're not over yet. So to try and get some balance and some fun back into our lives as well is going to be absolutely key for this, you know, and not to get into a habit of working ridiculous hours. You know, we've got to spend time with friends and family as well. Dropping down onto the business side of compete and grow. You know, just continuous improvement. Don't stop. You know, you've done so much hard work to continue through this really difficult period. Now is time just to make it all come to fruition. You know, get your systems and processes in place. Get the plans for growth in place. Like I said, there's going to be a lot less competition and a whole lot more clients up for grabs. So, You know, really get your marketing machine working, and making it a profitable commercial enterprise that works without you, which is what basically is the way that Action Coach explains and describes a company, a business, right? If it doesn't need you to work and function every single day, then you have a true business.